Howdy, it's Jim and this is January 2023, and we're just going up and down the road in Pigeon Forge. Starting to get a little bit late, and they still had some of their Christmas lights up, and I thought that was pretty cool. And of course, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, they're very pretty areas at night, just from the business lights and the bright lights. Obviously, if you go down here a lot, it's just an attractive area, yeah, from a I guess kind of an urban perspective. And of course, you do have the Great Smoky Mountains, but then you do have the craziness of Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and it's kind of a nice combo. I think it's developed into a nice area to take your kids. You see stuff like that, and never I've not been into that business. I've also not been to the little Civil War theater right there, and I've wanted to. I know for religious purposes they close on Saturdays, and that's when I've wanted to go see their little play. But I do plan on trying to catch that at some point. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I love Pigeon Forge. Love going up and down the strip here and just looking around. And it was especially nice because, like I said, they still had their Christmas lights up. January is a little bit of a slower time if you want to go see Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. I think most of the shows are closed between January and March. Yeah. Another attraction I've not been to, but I always like seeing it as I'm driving by. I guess I should tell you, yeah, I do have a few favorites through here. I do like the Titanic. That is really cool. We've done that a couple of times, and just a cool thing. I've done Biblical Times Theater, the Bible-based theater place right there on our left there. I like it a lot. It's a little scrappy. They operate with a smaller staff than some of the other shows, but they do a really good job, and I like what they're doing. We've seen the pirate show a couple times, and I really love that. You know, the thing about Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge both, oh, that's really pretty. The thing about both of these places, we've been coming down here for almost a couple of decades now, frequently, and you can have a very different experience, pretty much on every trip. You know, we've come down. We enjoy the bed and breakfast, Berry Springs Lodge. Look that up if you haven't. I've put up videos about it, and we've come down for long weekends and just hung out at Berry Springs Lodge. We've come down and spent a whole weekend in Gatlinburg and done nothing else. We've spent an entire weekend in Pigeon Forge, and that was it. And we've pretty much come down and done the Great Smoky Mountains. And that was all. And of course, if you're into minor league baseball, there's the Smokies are just right up the road. You've got Knoxville very close by. This is just a great area with a lot to do. And I could especially see like a family of 4 or more. If you had a couple of kids, you could sort of bring them down for the craziness that is Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, and then also introduce them to the Great Smoky Mountains and to national parks, and how much fun that can be. Oh, there's the Pirates right there. Yeah. In fact, there's all the shows in Pigeon Forge, and we had never done any of the shows until the last year or so. We finally went and we saw the Pirates show, and it totally blew us away, and just really, really enjoyed that. It is it's spectacular. There's no way around it, and the food is good too. I mean, I was just impressed by the whole thing, and I'm glad someone finally talked me into going to one of the shows, and we saw Pirates and we loved it. There are still attractions down here that I remember seeing the very first time we came through, and I thought, man, I want to do these. I still haven't. Oh, over on the left we passed Three Bears, and that's a cool store. They have about everything you could want: t-shirts, stickers, toys. It's probably one of the best places to get your souvenirs, and their prices are pretty decent, in my opinion. Yeah, and of course all these hotels. And in the beginning, when we first started coming down through this area, we would just stay at any old hotel. And I've stayed at quite a few of them through Pigeon Forge. And of course, you're probably not going to be spending a ton of time in your hotel. if you're in this area. But there are a few I like more than others. We stayed at the Park Vista with my niece when we brought her down here a couple of years ago, and that was a very nice experience. It was clean, and it's unique, and it's definitely part of the Gatlinburg skyline. And if you look around on YouTube, you know that that hotel was almost taken out by the fires in 2016. And so I like that one, kind of for a nice affordable family hotel. And then I mentioned previously I mentioned Berry Springs Lodge. It's just beautiful. It's only a mile or two from Dollywood, and it's very secluded. We've also stayed at the Buckhorn Inn, which is a really nice bed and breakfast I like a lot, and they do a really nice dinner in the evening. If we're able to, I like to go there for dinner. And just check that out if you have a moment. That's kind of a special place. And again, I like what those guys are doing too. Speaking of the fires, I'm still kind of haunted by those fires. I mean, if you love this area, it was kind of a devastating event, of course. Lives were lost, and they were quick to get out here and try to fix a lot of the greenness that was destroyed, and they did a good job. And of course, Saint Dolly had a hand in helping out with that. But those fires were really brutal, to say the least. I did listen to a podcast called Inferno that covers those. Oh, that is pretty too. Look at that. And they did a good job of covering all that happened. Some tear-jerking moments in that podcast too, by the way. Anyway, don't want to dwell on that, but yeah, I'm always fascinated too with the hotels as you look through here. It seems like some of the flashier businesses are right on the main drag, and then you'll have hotels kind of just off the road a little bit. And man, I don't even know how many hotels are in this area, but there are a ton of them. Also, I know Pigeon Forge has really, to me, it's always been there, but it's always kind of been the second banana to Gatlinburg. You went to Gatlinburg, you might do some stuff in Pigeon Forge, but oh, there goes the trolley. Again, in my opinion, it seems like lately Pigeon Forge has really ballooned up and taken some of the businesses away from Gatlinburg. Hard Rock Cafe, Cooter's Place come to mind. And I've had discussions with people, and I've listened to friends talk about and debate if they like Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg more. So what do you think? Anyway, if you have any thoughts on Pigeon Forge, let me know. I'd love to hear from you, especially their lights. Again, I enjoyed checking these lights out. I'm glad they still had some of their Christmas lights up in January.